Hello, happy beaters. Hello, welcome. Happy Saturday. How are you today? I just realized I didn't put my necklace on I had to wear today, but that's okay. You're all see my face anyway. I do have my bracelet from last week on. How are you? Did you do any wire crochet this week? I saw a few people post some that they did either that day or sometime this week. Please share if you do. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome. How are you? Hello. Good to see. I see people are popping. Hello, Stacy. Hello. Oh, look, there's my sister. And April's on there. And hi, Terry. Hello. Good to see everyone on here. So I just noticed as I was posting ready to get ready on here that yesterday when I posted the JPEG, it was missing page 3. So I did end up posting that again. So if you need to go grab that, you can go grab that. It is in our event page and on our Facebook page and in our Happy Beaters group. If you are not part of our Happy Beaters group, you can hit this link here and request to join, because you'll also find our, did it go? It did! Woohoo! I love it when I did. So in the comments, I put the link to our Just Beaded Happy Beaters group where you can find PDF forms of our projects in the files. So you do have to request to join our group, but once you are in, you can find that there. Hello, it's so wonderful to see you, Nicole. It has been a while. I hope your mother's healing well. Hello, Paula. Hello, Carolyn. Hi, Melinda. Hello, Joanne. Happy Saturday. So we are going to do our Dangly Fringe Earrings. And then we did do up a project for a pendant, which is done on a little bit larger stitch around with more fringe. So that is also available. Hello, Evelyn and Missy. Oh, I bet. How can you not be sore after surgery, right? Hi, Rosalinda, but I'm glad that she's doing better. I know. Hello, Deborah. Wonderful today to bead. Saturdays are always like that. Uh-oh, Cheryl, really? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, our Dangly Fringe Earrings. That's what we're doing today, our Dangly Fringe Earrings. And then we have our pendant. I guess I should have sent a picture, but it was on our, I did do a post Saturday or Thursday and yesterday. But just to let you know, this is the size of the earring, so you can kind of get an idea. Once I turn the camera over, it will kind of make it, look a little different. That's okay. You can still bead with us. Cheryl, you could do your other project. It'll be a lot of fun. Yes, Stephanie, at one time you did that. Hi, Catherine. This was back in October 2020 is when we did these. Originally. So we're revisiting. Like we've mentioned on the past couple Saturdays, I'm going to be doing a lot of revisiting for January, February, and March, and hopefully get some really fun new projects going for April. But it's fun. We have so many great projects that we did during 2020 and 2021 that, they're great projects to do as is, but then they're also great techniques that can be adjusted with other things. Oh, that's so awesome. Wow, that is so wonderful, Nicole, you did those. I wasn't, it's really hard to remember when I meet all our new Facebook friends, So that's so cool. Yes, April, I know. It was that long ago. I keep thinking it was last year, but it was actually October 2020. Hello, gal. So I'm going to flip over. Like I said, you can find those PDF files in our Just Beat It Happy Beaters group, which is in the comments there. Oh, wait, Sandra, huh? And you'll find the earrings, which was with the original project, and that's what I have the samples of. And then a pendant version that is a little bit larger and a little bit more fringy on there. Hello, Lori. Yeah, it's great for new people and people that missed it. It's great to revisit, even if you've done it before, because sometimes, we don't redo it, right? I am going to do I am going to do a pendant. I'm going to be doing the pendant to match the green one here for my mama. My mama wants that, so we are going to do the pendant today. But if you're doing earrings or pendant, they're done similar, and you do want the instructions. No, I'm cool like that. I pretty much did. I thought I made it so that you had to follow the basic instructions of the earrings and then adjust it to the pendant. But no, I'm cooler than I thought, and I did it all up. At the moment, no, Melinda, but we are in the process of pulling some of the beads. It was hard to tell what I had. There's like a color missing here and a color missing there. So we might be adjusting and putting some substitutes, but look, I should have a count by tomorrow of it, and I'll make a post that they're up on our Etsy. I did put the stitch-along hoops though in our Etsy already. So let's turn this over, right? Ooh. Maybe. Can I get this turned over? Oh, I did the wrong one. Oh. It's not working the way. I moved it trying to make sure that, hoping that there would be less of a shadow if I did it on this side. But I might be really wrong on this. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I might can get it so that there's less of a shadow. I thought maybe there'd be less of a shadow if I did it on this side. Let's get that tight so it doesn't move, and then we'll adjust it a little bit more. Woohoo! There we go. Every season has its own lighting problem, doesn't it? It depends on, it's 2:00 p.m. on the Pacific Coast every time that I do this, but it just depends on the season, how the light goes through. There's a little bit of a long shadow on here, so anyway, let's look. So I have the earrings here to show that we have in the sample. So I'm going to be doing the pendant to match the green earrings. The stitch arounds that we're using are by Tierracast. And as you can see, we have two sizes. So the earrings, we did the smaller one, which is the 15 millimeter. And then the pendant that I'm going to do is on the 18 millimeter. So we have our 15 for the earrings and the 18 for the pendant. Now, you know that I'm no stranger to big earrings, so I actually would make the pendants into earrings because I love it. But this is actually a really more doable size for the majority of the people. For these what's in there, we are going to be using fire polish in 3 different sizes. We have 3mm, which is going to be our medium size that we're using today, in 3 colors. If you're doing earrings, you need 10 of each color. If you are doing a pendant, you kind of need like 9 of 2 of the colors and 7 of 1 of the colors. I have just a little pile to work off because I am going to end up making a full set of earrings for her too. Because you got to have it, you know, got to do that for my mom. So I have 3 colors in the 3mm. I have 1 color in the 4mm. It's the same count. The 10 of them if you are doing your earrings, and you only need 8 of them if you're doing the pendant. So I'm going to have 8 of them that I'm going to use. 2mm, so they are even smaller. They're almost like a seed bead. Look, they're kind of like right in between your 11 and your 8 seed beads. They're almost like a little hair smaller than the 8 seed bead. That's in there just to add a little sparkle. We are using the True Cut 2mm. There are 2 different 2mm that are being made. One that's a little chubbier and one of them that they're calling True Cut. So it's supposed to be like a little more truer to size of a 2mm, whereas the other one might be more like a 2.5, you know, somewhere between a 2 and a 2.5. I think they both look really great, so you can use any 2mm. If you don't have 2mm, substitute another color in the size 8 seed bead. That works too. Just, you know, something like a nice little, adds a little burst of color or a sparkle. And then we have a size 8 seed bead. You need only about 20 per whether it's the earrings or the pendant. And then you need some size 11 seed beads. You need 50 to 75, depending if you're doing the earrings or the pendant, which is less than a gram. So if you just have like a little left out of a tube, it's perfect, right? Hello, Catherine. Good to see you on here. Yeah, that was a good moment. I was like, oh, I did better than I thought. Although I really, when I realized that I forgot the 3rd page on my post, I kind of felt really ridiculous there, but it's up there now. So those are what I'm going to use. And then I have 2 pair, our kits will have the niobium Tierracast ear wires to go with, or sterling silver to go with the silver, and the gold filled with the gold. So we're using the higher end ear wires in our kits just to make them, you know, add them a little nicer to that. And then, so if you were doing your earrings, you're going to want 2 15mm stitch arounds. And if you're doing a pendant, like I'm going to do the pendant today, you want an 18mm. Hello, Susie. Welcome. And then you want a beading thread. You want something that is going to match your colors or match your, you could try to match up the metal, but see, as you see, you're going to have a little bit of that showing. So matching with your beads is nice because it'll add a little pop. Like that blue really looks pretty on that silver. That pink looks great on the copper, and the green there, which is what I'm going to be using, is on there. You can use if you have whatever beading thread you like to use is fine. I am today, because of the color that I want to use, I'm using KO, so that will be what's in the kit. I kind of tend to choose either KO or 1G thread for this project when I do make them. I'm gonna move this over. It works out okay with Fireline too, but sometimes the dangles don't work lay as well. So what I like about the KO and the 1G threads, the fringe just dangle better. Then you're going to either use a size 10 needle, or you can even use a big eye needle. I'm going to show you a big eye needle because somebody asked earlier this month about big eye needle, and I hadn't had a chance to find a video that I had it. So I decided I'm going to pop it in here so that and message that person so that they can see, because this is a great project for a big eye needle too if you don't like needles. And so, but the kit will come with a size 10 needle. So I got my 10 needle out. And then a pair of scissors are needed for cutting the thread. And then, I don't have my jump ring, but when I'm going to put a large jump ring for the bail at the top of my pendant. And so I'll need 2 pairs of Chainnose Pliers for that. And if you're just putting your ear hooks on, you just need 1 pair. Because though the ear wires will just go right through the top of that stitch around. So it's pretty, you know, it's a nice little amount of materials. Nothing too out of its normals. If you don't have a good, you know, if you're doing this and you're like, I don't have 3 colors of 3mm beads, you don't have to use 3 colors. When we're designing, we have full access to our shop, so we get to play with color. When I'm designing, and then when I go to do it for myself, like my own personal, I'm like, ooh, I don't have enough colors to do that, so I'll just double up a color. Maybe I'll do, you know, and maybe I'll do like this color twice, and then I'll do that color or something. You know, there's just so many ways to get around that. So I think this is fringe. You can like play with fringe on these in so many manners and change up things. You could change up your seed beads. You could add more seed beads. You can add crystals. You can add little stones. Yes, Sandra. Big eye needles are so good on the eyes and the hands, for sure. You're not too late. We're just getting started. I am so glad to see you on there. Okay, so I'm going to put my earrings away because I'm not using those right now. I have my stitch around right here. The first thing that we want to do is we are going to, oh, I don't have my awl. That's what throws me off. I'm going to add this layer of brick stitch with the size 8 seed beads there. That's the first part, and then once we have that on, then we build our fringe. The earrings, and yeah, and like I said, and this is all stated here, so if you can use this video, it'll be you know, up to view afterwards, and you can also use the instructions. Sometimes having both helps. And what we're going to do, they're done the same way. As you can see, these pictures look almost identical, even though they're different colors and different things on the light, probably just looks like the same color on the camera though. But the big difference is with our earrings, we are only going to do 5 across, and with our pendant we are going to do 7 across. Okay, so that's the big difference there. And then after that, with the fringe, it's the count of beads going down. This with the pendant, we wanted to add like a little mini motif right down in the center, and then we made them very similar because we wanted it to go nicely with the the earrings, but they're, you know, so it's just the matter of the beads. So they're done so identical. So if you're doing, and if you did want, since I am doing the pendant, if you did want to like look at just the earrings, the original one from October is available and up on our site, and I will be moving that one over to our YouTube, plus this one onto our YouTube channel this weekend. No, Stephanie, the pendant was an after thing. Like, we never did a true true video for that, but we did make some kits, and then we revisited it with some holiday colors and did that up there. So very few people actually did the pendant. So you might have, yeah, it's very possible you missed it, because it was like we blinked and then, you know, it was the holidays and we did it real quick and then we were over, but we never did a separate video. So this is the first time for a separate video for it. But all of those are going to be up on our YouTube, which we are just slowly building. Let me put that in. Let me find, boom. There's the link to our, there we go. There's the link to our YouTube channel, and you will start seeing our videos there as I move them all over. So I'm going to cut 1 yard of thread. It's more than I need, but it makes a good length. And I can either use my size 10 needle, which I'll probably switch over, but I do want to show the big eye needle. So we have this big eye needle, and we have a new one that is a fine big eye needle, which is a little thinner, which is really nice also. Those two items are going to shortly be up on our Etsy also. Our stitch arounds are on there too, so that might as well put that in there because I didn't do that earlier. Etsy. Send. You can find those on there. The stitch arounds, you can find them later this weekend, probably tomorrow at some point. I will post when that is live. You'll see some of these kits up too. But the big eye needle is, ooh, let's get in the camera. Cameras work better if you get showing you works better if I get under. So this big eye needle, what it is 2 pieces of wire that has been welded together on the top and on the bottom. And as you can see right now, I have no nails, but I can still open it up. It opens up like a bow and arrow. See how it just kind of, and that means it can accommodate any kind of thread, but it also makes it so much easier to thread your material, any kind of, because you got that bigger eye. It goes right in there. And I just go down the center. You can use either end. They are both as pokey, so be careful because both sides are very pokey. I use this a lot with my stretchy cord, and when I do, sometimes that bounce of that stretchy cord pokes it into my fingers. But either side could be your point side. It doesn't matter. And I just bring it from the center over down to the one end, and that catches it in there. So it's really, really nice for those that do have problems threading the needles. It will work for most projects. Some projects, the bead, you have to go through so many times, or the beads have smaller holes, so it makes it hard to use a big eye needle. That's why we got the new ones from Bead Along that are finer, that are thinner, and they have been such a nice breeze. Well, thank you, Nicole, for subscribing. So I have my needle on one end, I'm going to start with my size 8 seed bead. And the picture has it this way. I like to work upside down. You're going to find that I'm probably going to end up flipping this upside down because it works out better for me. But to kind of go along, you're going to, with the instructions, you're going to take, I leave that little bead on my needle, and I'm going to go under the hoop from the back and up through the center. And then I'm going to pinch down so that I kind of hold it in place and pull most of the thread out. You want to leave about 4-6 inch tail hanging out there. And then I'm going to come back down through that size 8 seed bead. And that's just going to kind of semi-hook it into place. If you need to, you can always add a bead stopper or a stop bead if you like. We're going to be hooking these all together very soon, and they're not going to move. So I'm leaving that out for right now. Well, welcome. Thank you, Paulina. It's great to see you on here. Wonderful, wonderful. So I got the first one, and remember we're going to do 7 of these, so we're going to add another one. Now I like to, you could kind of, I like to just kind of secure them together as I go, and that's what I'm going to be showing. If you've seen this process before, not everybody does the securing, but you'll see the difference, or well, I'll talk about why. One thing I forgot to mention, you may want to add thread conditioner, especially if you are used to using Fireline. Thread like this gets a little more tangly, and using a thread conditioner like beeswax, synthetic beeswax, or Thread Magic is a great way to keep your thread nice and smooth and not get snags in it and not get caught and not split it as much as without. Of course, I did not grab mine, and so we're going to be risky today. So we're going to get our second bead on, and I'm going to go under my, from the back side again, under my, through the hoop. Oh, that's so cool, Julia. That's so wonderful to hear. I love that. Oop, let's get that in there. So I got, and then now we're going to go down through the new bead. I wonder how much, okay, if it starts to really focus on the stuff behind, I may have to move it out. So I'm just pulling it tight so that it gets a little closer. And it's okay that's a little loose right now. Now this is where the point that I like to tie and secure them together, because I could keep adding the rest of the 7 beads, the 5 more beads that I need, just like I did here. But do you see how kind of loosey-goosey and kind of split they are? If I secure them together right now as I go, they will lay a little neater, and it helps me space them out better. So what, oh, I did that without talking about what I did. I'm doing it, and showing you, but I'm only talking about securing it. Okay, let me back that out. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to jump. My hands were jumping before. All right, I think I'm going to move it so that that's off screen, so maybe it will focus on this better. Okay, so I'm coming out of the second one, the one on the right. So to secure these together, I'm going to go up the one on the left like that, and then I'm going to go back down the one on the right, and that will form a little loop around them and make them stand together a little neater. So I'm going up the one on the left and that's towards the hoop. Might be up or down depending on how you hold it. And then out of the one on right there. And that little loop right there. Now that I tighten it, and see how neatly they, no, not if you drop it, Joyce. See how much neater they lay now? They're not splitting apart. They're a little more secure. And I just find it so much easier to keep them on into place, especially if you're going to do this on a different type of, like a different shape component. Like rounds are a little easier, but if you wanted to do this on a, you know, a triangle or something else, you may find that this method will help those beads kind of click into the spot that you want them to. So that's 2. We're going to need to do 7 of these. So let's do our third one. We're going to go take our bead onto our needle, go up from behind the hoop, through the hoop, back down the new, away from the hoop, through the new one, pull it so it's next to the others, and then we're going to secure them together by going to the bead on the left and then the new bead on the right. And they just pop, boop, and it just makes it a little bit cozier. I almost caught my phone cord in it. That would make a very heavy earring if I did that. Hello, Diane, welcome. So I got my 4th bead is on my needle, and now I'm going to go under my hoop, up through the center. Whoop, whoop. Down that new bead into place, and then I'm going to secure that 4th bead to the 3rd bead, going up, 3rd bead, and back down the 4th bead. There's 4, and if you're doing an earring, you may only want the next one, the 5th one, and so I'm going up, and then I'm going to be doing a pendant, so I am going to be doing 7. So this is number 5. These are all being put on at in the same way, and then connecting them together. Hello, Roberta, welcome. It's great to see so many friends on today. Let's see, I'm doing number 6. Yep, it's number 6. And securing number 6 to number 5. And then I want one more. Now you could do an even number. It really gonna depends on the type of fringe that you decide that you want to do if you're making up your own pattern. This one I'm doing 7 because we want a middle to it. You don't need a middle necessarily, but when you look at this, I have one down at the middle, just like, you know, and then it creates like a middle center thing. So that's why I'm doing an odd number, but doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You can make them all even across, and then you can just do an even number. It kind of depends on what you're deciding that you are adding these to. Let's add one more here. And so we have 7 on there. And I am ready to get our fringe on now. Isn't that great? That's all you need to get a good base to do your fringe. Now we're going to add our fringe, and we're going to work our way back over to this other side. The first one starts with, for mine, with my pattern, is 10 of the size 11s, and I'm going to try to lay them out to make it a little easier. So I have 10 11s, one of my 2 millimeter, one of my size 8 CE bead, and then I'm going to do 3 millimeters. So I'm naming them A, B, and C because I have 3 colors. So I have one of A, one of B, one of C. Or if you are just doing a single color, it'd be 3 beads. Unless you want a different length, though, there was that too. And then a 4 millimeter, another 2 millimeter, and then a size 11. So that's my first fringe. So this is my outer fringe. This is going to be the shortest one. And then I'm going to increase the numbers, increase the beads until I have one that is a little bit longer in the center. And then I'm going to repeat, mirror those, and go back up to short again. And if you're doing an earring, you're going to have a different count. And you could follow that. That is all stated right there. All the fun little... Or you can even come up with your own. So let's get those 10 size 11s. Cheryl, I just realized, was it the flowing fringe you were thinking of? I should have thought of that. Yeah. Flowing fringe is another simple earring that we did with fringe. It's just 3 little fringes, great for beginners. That is on in our I think I might even have that one on our YouTube already, but it definitely is. It's one of our first projects that we did in like April or May of 2020. When we first started our Facebook Lives, is definitely was one of the first ones. All right, so I have all of those picked up, and then to make my fringe, so they're going from the top down. That's why I had all those C beads first, because I wanted those larger ones at the bottom. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to skip that last 11. That is going to act like a little anchor, like a little stopper. And we're going to skip that bead and then bring our needles up through the rest of them. We're going to go all the way up. Come on, you can do it. Making sure that we're catching each one. You also want to make sure that you're not splitting your thread. It's really easy to split your thread when you're going through the beads. So when you're going through them, it's okay if you have to kind of pull through so that you can get the rest. Sometimes it's hard to get your needle through all of them in one swoop. But you want to try to go through the top, like you want more of an angle, like the tip of it is running through the top of the hole instead of the bottom of the hole. If I have it pointed too downwards, I run the risk of splitting my thread. So I'm kind of trying to more go upwards, and then that way I know I'm not splitting my thread. Although it's still you can still do it. So what I do is once they're on, I see if I can move it down, keep it on there, see how it slides easily. then I know I did not split my thread, because if you split your thread, you won't be able to get these nice and tight. And then once I'm up here, I got so excited about getting my 7th bead that I forgot to anchor it to my 6th bead. So I'm going to probably add an extra. Oopsie, I did that. See, and the reason why I caught that now is I noticed when I went to go grab it, it got loose. It should not have gotten loose like that if I anchored it to there. Oops. It happens. It happens. I just got so excited. So what I'm going to do is I do want to go through that. So I'm going to go through it. We are going to go through it from behind, because we're going to follow the step still. And, oh no, I'm sewing it. Exactly, Margaret. I totally forgot. I just got excited that I had my 7th bead on, that I just totally forgot to secure it. You know, it happens. You get excited, and then it's like, ooh, I get to do the fun part, and it's like, oh man. So I'm going to secure it now that I'm up here. But until I got to get all the thread cinched up. So I'm going to hold on to that last 11 that I skipped, and I'm going to pull it. Instead of I'm going to secure it while I'm up here now. It would have been nicer if I did it before, but I'm not going to undo all this. I can secure it when I'm up here. Yeah. I'm just like, wait a second. That is just too silly. Too silly. Okay, so I got behind there. I'm going to go down through so when I went up through all those beads, now that I got it cinched, now it's really easy to want to totally pull this really hard, but don't pull it too hard. You want it to be, if you pull it too hard, one thing about the KO and the 1G, it kind of has a bounce to it, so sometimes you can over tighten it, and then it won't, it's not going to be as weird and wiry as, say, Wildfire or Fireline with the dangles, but it can get a little wonky if it's too tight. So you do want to make sure that this isn't so tight. Yes, I know. We're all human. See, it's good, you know, when we make mistakes, you know that we're all human, and it happens, and we can just laugh about it and keep going, right? So I'm coming up, when I came up here, I came behind and up through the hoop so that the thread is through the hoop, so that it's now like kind of wrapping around. And then I'm going to go back down through that 7th bead. And then up the 6th bead. And if I was going to get myself ready to do the next fringe, I would actually make this go behind it. But because I have to secure it, I'm going to go in front of it, because I want to still secure it, even though in a way you don't need it. But because I already got the beads on here, but it just looks nicer if they all line up the way. Then down that 7th, so I just secured. Right now I'm using KO. I have, for this project for our kits, there was either KO or 1G. It was all about what color we liked. To me, they're so similar that we decided we went by color. And they act very similar. All right, so now I went back. Now that I've secured these together, I'm going up through the 6, and I'm going behind the hoop, so it's coming from behind. and then back down the 6. It's fun, huh? Just to kind of chill, and even if you're not making the same thing, just kind of hang back and chill with our fellow beaders. I love it. It's a great way to spend your Saturday. All right, so now I'm ready for my next fringe. So I went up and back down so that I'm all ready. And I probably go up and down more than some people. I have seen it where people only kind of jump from the bead over to the next, like the brick stitch beads, they might jump from the 6th bead over, but I like having that extra thread. I think it just looks better when there's multiple strands of thread on there, because that gives you like, I don't know, it gives you a little more presence with the beads. And it just feels a little more secure. So that's why I'm doing it that way. Yes, both of them are super good for fringes, for dangles. Absolutely, Nicole. I like them both for that reason. And you could probably do this with, I mean, if you've been a beader for a long time, you might still have like Nymo or Silamide, and those would work out pretty well too. I don't know if I'm saying them right. Is it Nymo or Nemo? Or is it Silamide or Silamide? I don't know. You're just going to hear the way I say it. And it may be wrong. Okay, so let's go with our next fringe. Our next fringe starts with 11 of our size 11. So if I was going to not add that little motif that we're going to do, I typically either add 1 or 2 of these seed beads. Like if I was going to do the whole pendant with just this part of the dangle and not add the extra little thing that we're going to add in the 3rd fringe, 3rd, 4th, and 5th fringe, the center ones, I would change out. But if I'm just doing it like this, I would add either 1 or 2 at a time, depending on if I want a gradual, like if we want like a less of a graduation from the, whatever that word is. I think we all graduated from school just now by saying it that way. Going from short to tall, or if you want a steeper V of that, then maybe you add 2 instead of just 1, but I'm just adding 1. So there we want 11, perfect. Somehow I perfectly got that. Okay, then a 2 millimeter, a size 8, my 3 millimeters, 3 of my 3 millimeters in A, B, and C. Make sure I have them in the right order. My 4 millimeter, and then another 2, and then a 1. So it's just the same thing. I just added 1 more bead here. Tomato, tomato, exactly. Yeah, I like both of them. I like it both ways. Tomato, tomato. Let's get these. Well, some of the words, like, I never heard them spoken, and, like, I just saw the name written, and so then I'm like, well, that's how I say it, I might not have learned it right, but then other times, I'll hear something said more often than I've seen it read, and then I'm like, oh, that word's the same as that. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, second fringe. Boom. Let's skip that again. We're going to skip that 11, go up all the fringe, go into the 6th size 8 in our brick stitch and behind the hoop. So sometimes what I'll do is to make it easier for me, I will go fishing. So I let the beads hang down. I bring the thread over my hand and I pull it like I'm pulling up a fish here. All right, so now I have it kind of draped over. I'm going to skip that last bead. So I'm going to kind of poke that out of the way. Doesn't want to. And because it's laying over my finger, this is where I can kind of get the top of the holes of the beads easier because it's scooped over my, well, that's a funny cut one. And then I'm less likely to split my thread because it's easier for me to make sure, because it's rounded around my head. See how that thread is more against my fingers and then the outside, the holes are kind of up. So it's so much easier to get your needle to kind of glide over on top of that thread, going like the roof of the holes, even if I'm only doing a few at a time here. So that's how I typically do it. But I'm used to picking up my work. And if you're new to this kind of stuff, a lot of people, when you're new, and even I did, you want to keep it on the mat. And that's okay too. You could, as you saw on my first fringe, I was able to do it on the mat. So you could do it on the mat still. And then I'm going to get into the 6 and behind my hoop up to the center. And then I'm going to pull that. And sometimes, see how you got because I did it in sections, I have these little hoops. What I'm going to do before I pull any more is I'm going to take that little one, the last one, the 11 that I added, that is my stopper on that. I'm going to pull it away and flatten out those loops. Now I'll lay it back down. Let the beads just slide down. Again, hold on to just that size 11 and then pull that thread and it just shoom, 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 cinches up. As scary as it is to hold your piece and it feels like you're going to get yourself to where you're not, you might drop it or you might not lose your place. The sooner you can get comfortable holding it, it's easier to make sure that you're not over pulling. It's, you know, your tension's good. It's not too loose, not too tight. It just really helps a lot. Now I'm going to go down that same 8 in the front. Go through the next one. So that's our number 5. And it's going to go behind the hoop. Again, you could just go into the bead itself, but I find this way for me is just a nice way to do it. There we go. Now I am ready to do my third. Move over here because we're going to have to put some beads up. So I got my third one going. Okay, my third one is going to start out with 6 size 11s. And then a size 8. And then a B. And then an 8. Now, if you do end up getting a, you can kind of play with these beads a little bit. There's like a couple extra in some of these colors, so you can kind of play which one you want to put where, but I think it works out good, so I'm going to keep it that way. So my B, and then an 8 again, and then 2 11s, your size 2mm, a size 8 seed bead, and then the A, B, C, or 3mm, a size 4, a 2mm, and then a size 11 seed bead at the bottom. So that's my number 3, and I'm adding this new little motif here. So if you are wanting to design your own, and if you notice, if I was doing this with just the size 11 seed beads and not adding this little boopy thing right here, what I would do is I would just do 12, right? So what, in the process of making this little part, what I did was I wanted to make sure that this was about the length of 12. It's okay if it's a little bit longer, but you don't want it any shorter than 12. So I added those, and then I lined it up next to the one with the 11, and this one is probably closer to 13, but I liked the spacing, so I left it. So I could have probably done like 1 seed bead less, but kind of wanted it a little more spacing there. So that's one way to kind of design your own little thing in this spot, is to try to just make sure it's a little longer than what that is before you add the items that are the same. One part of these fringe that I like is to make sure that the bottom dangles do match or have a true pattern, so that it'll add, it just adds to the look, makes it all pretty when it's repetitive like that with the beads on. And when you're not sure about color, it's amazing when you go, okay, that's okay, but is that too stand out? But once you kind of repeat it across, it like always looks better. Okay, so I'm going to go fishing again, and I'm going to pick it up, reel it in, skip that last bead, so I'm going to let that drop down from my hand. Thank you. Yes, it's super easy to make, you know, once you learn it. And then, like Julie said, she started doing this on everything. It, like, you're going to find things that you're like, oh, I can add dangly fringe on this. Okay, let's get those ones. And then I just got to make sure I get all of these beads. Oh, come on, come on. That little tails always get in our way, don't they? And then up the 8 and behind, up through the hoop. I thought I was going to switch over to my needle, and I kept my big eye needle the whole time. Yeah, I like it. Though I just poked my finger, so that's why I remembered that I had my big eye needle on. All right. Look at that. Added a cool little doohickey there. Now I'm going to just move over to the next one by going down the same. So that number 5 bead. Remember, one is where my tail is. And then up the middle one, which is our number 4. And I'm going, don't sew the hair in. Don't need to sew the hair in. Behind. And then back down over the front and back down that same 8. And now I'm ready for the middle. Look at that. We're just at that halfway point. So exciting. I love it. And this starts out with 3 size 11s, 1 size 8, 1A, 1 4mm, 1A, 1 8, 3 11s, only 3, Joyce, a 2, an 8, an A, 3 of my 3mm, so A, B, C, a 4mm again, a 2mm, and a size 11C bead. Right there. And we are going to grab hold of these beads, get those on. 1, 2, 3. Since this is the center of the little motif, you can definitely, once you get these beads on here, double check that you like the way it is hanging. You know, I did the same thing. I wanted to make sure kind of set kind of in the middle of those parts there, and that it came a little longer so that it will go a little longer. I'll finish put on the rest of these. Isn't this great? I mean, this project goes up so much faster than it appears, which adds to the addiction of wanting to put fringe on so many things. And I know some bead quicker and some bead slower. You need to go your speed. That's the most important thing. There is no wrong or right on that. Well, there is if you are trying to either do it faster than you or slower than you think you should. You should do it at your speed. That is the right. And then I'll have days where I'm slower. I got a lot on my mind, so then I'm really concentrating on the beads to try to help clear my head, right? Be more mindful. So I'll slow it down for that reason. Or maybe I'm just too distracted and can't focus on it. And then sometimes I'm so excited about color choices or something that I just beat it up before I realized it was done. And it's like, whoa, what happened? Because you're just so excited about the colors. Why, thank you. I hope people take this, and if you end up getting some of these stitch arounds or have them already, or once we get these up as kit, decide to get a kit from us. Remember, I will post that later this weekend when I get the true numbers. I have to find some of the materials. I thought I had grabbed all the colors that I needed for all the colorways, and I'm like missing one from here and one from there, you know. But or if you decided that you're gonna, you know, you're gonna use what you have and you're gonna use something totally different, I would love to see what you make from this. If you decide to make something, share with us. You can share on our Just Bead It page, or if you're part of our Just Beat It Happy Beaters group, share there. It's so fun to share what we make on there and share colors, share beads that you choose, components that you choose. I am putting the link. If you're not part of our Happy Beaters group, you do need to click that link and ask to join. Exactly, Christine. It's great to kind of like bead with you and be live and like get to like, you can ask questions, we can talk about these beads and stuff. But when you're doing it, sometimes it's nice to do it in the replay. I mean, I do that a lot with other projects. I like to watch the replay to actually do it. I like to do it the live to kind of say hi to my buddies and to also just if there's any questions, maybe ask a question, you know, oh, can this substitute or whatever. But, you know, it's just so great. That's the wonderful thing about the replays being available. And I am moving them up over to our YouTube. So if you didn't miss that in the comments earlier, all right, let me add that. Thanks for, I am still learning how to get all these little things into the comments, but I got it, right? That's the fun part. So on our YouTube, so I'm moving these videos over there so you can also replay there, because sometimes it's easier to see and then also pause and rewind on the YouTube is what so we decided to kind of get it over there. So I need to make, the next one needs to be the exact of this. So that's 6 CB11s, 1 8, 1 B, 1 8, 2 11s, 1 2mm, an A, B, C, a 4mm, a 2mm, and a size 11. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We're on our 5th fringe. Ooh. Oh, and we never got to make this green one in the pendant, and I think it's really gonna be nice, or it's looking nice to me anyway. I hope my mom likes it. She didn't see what the pendant looked like. I only showed her the earrings. No, she doesn't like it. I'll steal it. Wait. Am I missing something? I am missing something. I forgot my 8. Uh-oh. Okay. So that's 6 11s, an 8, a B, an 8, 2 11s, a 2mm, and then a size 8 before I get into that. I was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. So get that little 8, size 8 in there, because you want that on top. It breaks up the 8 kind of helps break up the 11 or the 2mm and the 3mm. Sometimes when you put that 2mm on top of the 3mm, it kind of like loses itself. So by putting that 8 there, it kind of helps. Hey, that's all. Oh, hey, you don't want that. Hit the wrong thing. I lost my comments. Okay. You saw the ceiling. I lost the comments. Now let's see if I can figure out how to get back to that. It does kind of match, huh? It's kind of why I was also going by that, because this is what I did last week with the wire crochet with our It does. It does. It kind of is my theme color today. I can't wait to see what you're doing with wire, Sandra. Oops. Don't forget these two lonely beads over here that I almost missed. Boop. I'm going to hint at this, but I am we're going to revisit Treasure of the Seas and Malas. So I have plans on putting fringe on one of the open lotus charms. I am excited. So I'll probably finish that, work on that. I'm pulling colors right now. So I wanted to get it done for this. Like I had this idea. I wanted to get it done for this, but then I'm like, I haven't decided what my mala part is going to be in my color. So how can I make a fringe with it if I don't know what color? So I'm actually going to use this to make a fringe for my mala when I do my mala. Well, I'm glad that you joined us as long as you were able to, Nicole. Have a fantastic evening. Oh, that's fun. That is super fun. I'd love to hear that I can't wait to see your car decoration. It's nice when you have to commute, that is like your other home away from home. You got your work, that's your home away from home. And then you got your car, that's home away from home. So it's nice to have something to where you can like decorate and make it your space. So good. All right, so there we go. Now I am going to do the 6th fringe on the 2nd bead because I'm working the other way around, which is going to match this one right here. Starts out with 11 seed beads and then all the fun little So sometimes I think I could just look at this and not lay it out, but then I always forget something. So I will look at this, but I'm going to lay it out still because I found that nowadays I just go on autopilot and I just go and I add a bunch of stuff into, on my needle and think I got the right count and I don't. So I'm going to just go and do this real quick, lay it out. Don't, even a seasoned beater can put the wrong beads on, and it depends on how distracted I am. And I am kind of distracted in a sense because I'm loving the colors. I'm loving chatting with you. So let's see if I can make sure I get these all right because I want them to look the same. So now that I have it lined up, I'm going to double check. We got 11 size 11s, and then a 2mm size 8 seed bead, A, B, C, a 4mm, a 2mm, and a size 11 again. Let's go get these on. Next week, by the way, we are going to be revisiting. So I got that figured out. So we're going to be posting for that. We are going to be revisiting the Pretty Little Leave earrings that we did in 2020. That are like kind of a basic bralette wrap on them off the chain, but instead of leaves, I'm going to do hearts. I'm going to do some crystal hearts. That's going to be on the next. Okay, skip that last one, get into and I know I like our Saturdays. We tend to take our time a little bit on here, and I do know that if you have to go, I totally understand. This will be available to watch at any point afterwards on our Facebook and then on our YouTube as I move them over. But I kind of like to do it in this. I might do some videos in the future where I will use some video magic and have things a little bit more prepared and you know, in steps. And occasionally I might be doing that with our Mala one, just because that one's originally did the Treasure of the Sea in 2, and I'm going to try to do it in 1 with some prep for that reason. But look at that down. I don't know if I actually cut mine truly a yard, but we'll see. Boop. I think I'm going to just have enough. Anyway, I just really love beading with you on Saturdays. It just is something I look forward to. I like to take this time and enjoy the process. So I really hope that you are enjoying the process with me. Boop. Okay, last one. Last one starts with 10, right? 10, yes. Yeah, I'm going to have just enough. So I could have, if been a little easier with my, if I made my tail a little shorter, or if I actually did cut a true, I kind of made a short yard. I wasn't doing a real count, so I am just gonna have enough, and I don't care if that's enough. It doesn't matter. 10, 11s, 10, did I get them? 9, 10. I did. No, that's 11. I can count. I can count. And then my 2mm, my 8, my A, B, C, my 4, my 2mm, and my little 11 at the bottom. And I'm going to pull it. Start with these here. Get these on here. Almost done with this. And I gotta remind myself not to rush the end. Sometimes I get so excited that I'm at the end that I tend to rush, and then I make funny mistakes, right? Who's done that? I know I've done that. Get so excited. I'm like, oh. And then I'm like spending more time fixing my mistake than if I just took a couple breathers, right? Okay, skip that 11 and go up through all our beads. and through here. And then this time, instead of going through my 8, I'm going to end after my 11s. So I'm not going, before I went up through it and then back down, I'm actually just going to stop right here at the top of my 11s. Thank you, Coral. I am so glad to hear that. Hold on to my 11 and pull and cinch that up. Because what I'm going to do now is take my working thread and my tail, and I'm going to tie them together in a knot. And because my tail is coming out of downwards out of the size 8, and then my working thread is going upwards out of the size 11, I'm able to do that. So if I went through the 8, my threads won't match. You know, they won't meet up together. So I'm just going to do a little square knot with them. This is going to be one of the colors that we are going to be adding to our Etsy as a kit. It will be available this week. I will post it when it's available. Let me get this so that it's tight. Okay, so I'm just doing a little square knot, making sure my knot ends up between the 8 and that 11. Don't want to get caught around any of the other beads. It's really easy to get it caught. So yes, yeah, this one's gonna, isn't this green great, Paula? I love it too. And I'm just made 3 little half knots basically. And I'm going to take my working thread now, and I'm going to go up the 8 and behind through the hoop, and then I'm going to pull it, and that will pull that knot inside the 8. So I made sure that the knot was between the 11 and the 8, but by going up through that 8, it pops it into the C-beam. Yes, that is one of the items that we're trying to get some of the findings, trying to get our findings inventoried so that I can get them up on our Etsy. Is there a particular one, Rosalinda, that you want? If you want to, you can shoot us a message with the type that you are looking for, because I think we had 3 different kinds on there. And then that way I can make sure that's one of the first ones that go up. Or if you want all 3, that's okay too. Anyway, I'm going back down. So I went up, around, and back down, and I'm going to just go all the way down here and pull it down so that my tail, now my working thread is landing in the fringe. And then I'm going to take my tail and again, I'm using my big eye needle. You can use your big eye needle, or the kits will have size 10 needles. That's usually what we use. I'm just showing off the big eye needle today because we had a couple questions about big eye needles in the past. So I wanted to kind of address them and show how easy they are to use. And I'm just taking this thread down, and I'm going to try not to end at the same spot. I have not had a problem with these coming undone, but if you're worried, you can always add a little dab of glue on the knot before you pop it into the size 8. I just make a bigger mess with it, so I just don't. Okay, so there is my pendant. So my last thing to do is to attach it, get a jump ring and attach here, and then I'm going to be able to put it on one of my chains. I did not get a jump ring out for me today. So I guess, and I did a good job of clearing my desk this time, that I don't even have remnants from before. Because normally I have one or two hanging out, right? But anyway. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I think I know which ones. And yes, those are definitely, Rosalind, those are definitely ear wires that are going up first. So that's good. So there we go. So I just need a jump ring. And then I have a pendant that matches the earring. So the pendant's on the 18mm stitch around, and the earrings are on the 15mm. They are priced per, so if you decided to get some stitch around, these are, you want to make sure you add 2 to your cart, because the price is per one single. The kits, of course, will be a pair of earrings or the pendant with the jump ring included. So those will be up later this weekend, and I will post when they are ready and up there. I love how that turned out. I'm so excited. And we have antique copper in the stitch around in both the 18 and the 15. We have some of the rhodium plated. After this batch of rhodium, they're going to be the white bronze. Tierracast changed from rhodium because it got so expensive to white bronze. So it will change to the white bronze, which looks almost identical, so it's not a big deal. And then the gold plate, and then the antique brass. Those already are on there. And then these colors will be shortly this weekend will be available. We don't have a whole lot because these are from October 2020. So some of the colors we are substituting just slightly with the beads, or we just have a limited amount of that. So you're going to see numbers are going to be on the low side, but we are able to do a few of each one in the earring and in the pendant. Okay. I love those earrings. They are great. And you know what? Get 2 pendants, and you could you could do the pendant size as earrings too if you really like big earrings like I do. Let's see if I can flip this camera around again. Woo. Well, okay, there's the ceiling. Let's see if I can get this part flipped. No, whoop, whoop, wrong part. Not if I do the wrong thing. There we go. No, kind of. Almost up my nose. I gotta look down. I don't want you to go up my nose. Okay. Okay. Can we do this? We can do this. Tighten everything. If it was only a slightly smoother. Sorry for the bumpy ride there. All right, we did it. Yay! See, they make really cool earrings too for those that like long earrings like I do. And, oh, I don't know if I can get it far enough. Can I get this far enough to where, oh, if I stand up. So if it was as a necklace, looks really good as a necklace too. good pendant size. Anyway, so I'll just do that and pendant. There we go, like that. I'll put that one in. This one has an ear hook on there, so I can do like that. They're a fabulous size. This is a great size too. And that little dangle, and you, like I said, you could put just about anything as long as you can get your on the. I've done stones, but you got to make sure your needle can go with the thread, can go through twice your stones. So stones. Some stones are, that's easy, but some of those little tiny ones, depending on where it was drilled, sometimes a little hard, so I can't really do that. But I love putting them on there. Of course, crystals, fire polish, rounds, so many things. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun making my pendant that maybe I don't give up. No, I will give up because my mom's special. Timmy, right? I'm just probably will. I just couldn't find it. I have this one as a pendant and I love it. And I wore it and then was not smart and didn't put it in a spot that I can grab for today. Oops, sorry. But they're really fun to wear. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. And remember, and so next weekend at 2 p.m. here on the Pacific side coast, we are going to be doing at 2 p.m. I am going to do, I'm going to revisit our Pretty Little Leaves instructions. And instead of leaves, I'm going to use hearts. So those are going to go up there also. I'll be adding that, that event on this weekend so that you can kind of get a look at what you want to do with that. And we found a whole bunch of little special crystal hearts that we have, and I thought they would be really fun dangling. They're like little 3 dangling off of some chain, right? You're welcome, Terry. I cannot. I hope you share when you make them. I hope you share. I would love, love, love to see what you did. Joyce, hello, Joyce. You're welcome. I am so glad to hear that. I love seeing other Joyces do it. Always makes me happy. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Evelyn. Yes, yes, the hearts are going to be perfect for Valentine's. Also, next Saturday is my nephew's 12th birthday, and because of that, that was the other reason, the hearts. You know, I love them so much. They're not for him, but it's that whole hearts and love and everything, so it's like 2 things in one for me. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. If you make these, please share, even if it's like, you know, if, you know, get the kit, maybe it's in a couple weeks, maybe it's in a couple months, share on our Just Beat It Happy Beaters group, with what you made from this, whether you decided to make exactly how this is, like, you know, in our instructions, or use this technique and did it on something else. And remember, I am going to use this on a open lotus, component, so I will be showing how that is after I get that ready. So that's going to be exciting to share with you again. So please share with me. I love seeing what people do and what beads they choose and colors they choose. So share, share, share. I'll see you later. Bye. Have a fantastic weekend.